I mean, if we win out from here, I think we'll be like 6-5. I don't even know how many games we have left, but we always say go 1-0 every week, and we went 1-0 this week, go 1-0 the next week, 1-0 the next week, and just don't look too far ahead, and we can just finish out the season great.
Spoiler alert, Taylor Null is really good at football and math apparently, and the Falcons soared to victory on Humboldt State. But let's see how they got here, shall we? It was all about the diaper dandy. Taylor Null got it started on a 57-yard touchdown to Mr. Christian Brown. Take that money back, Christian, and take that hit, Humboldt. Look at those locks, but like I said, Taylor Null was what I like to call electric. 430 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, school records everywhere. Winner, winner, Falcons eat lumberjacks for dinner. By the final, 36-17. Hey Keegan, how you feeling? Are you riding about this win?
Great feeling. Really enjoyed that. But tomorrow it's over, and we need to keep going and look forward to Angelo State next week at Midland. So we'll see how it goes.
Hungry for more? I love it. And I'm Marshall Kramsky, and you are watching Falcon Focus.
From the home of Falcon football, CBS 7 presents Falcon Focus with Jake Dayton and Marshall Kramsky.
What's up, Falcon Faithful? Welcome to another week of Falcon Focus. No Tatum today, so just myself, Coach Kerrigan, as always. Guys, we have a great show in store for you as the Falcons pick up a win on homecoming against Humboldt State. And Coach, let's actually just get right into it and break this one down. You guys came out on fire. You said you guys have done this weeks past, but how do you guys continue to do that each week, do you think?
We got explosive players, and then we've just had the opportunities, and we've executed and capitalized most every game this year. Early on, first quarter, whether it be the first, second drive, end up with a touchdown. Same thing happened. Again, it's going to be on a scratch record and on repeat here. We've got to be more consistent throughout the game. To think that you're going to score on every drive, I think, is a little far-fetched, but we got to be a little bit more consistent and then take advantage of those opportunities.
All right, and then it was hard to talk about the point of the game without mentioning, just Taylor Null. He was pretty outstanding. I would say that first 2 drives were perfect. Would you have wanted to maybe see him convert 2 more touchdowns in that first half, do you think?
Absolutely. And the tough part is you don't want to discredit any of the great play that he had.
Of course.
At 64.5% completion percentage, 430 yards. There's a lot of plays in there that were missed, and whether they were missed by the receivers or by an errant throw that we just didn't connect on, those are the ones for me, and I'm a perfectionist. I watch and I go, man, I wish we had that one. Even though we won, I still want to hit those. I still want to make those, and I know for him, he feels the same way, but for an 18-year-old and 4th or 5th start ever in college football, I thought it was a phenomenal game. He gets better each and every week. I love the fact that when he comes to the sideline, he recognizes some of the things and adjustments that need to be made, and I mean, he plays like a vet.
So definitely not 18 years old.
Doesn't play like one.
I like that. All right, sticking with the offense, the biggest thing you highlighted on Monday's press conference was the importance of establishing the run. 3 running backs. No one had a 100-yard game, but combined, they pretty much moved the ball at will. How do you think they did?
I thought they did really well. And, Humboldt had a good game plan trying to bottle up the run. I thought we went into it with a good game plan as well and kind of anticipating some of that kind of stuff. And the running backs answered the call, and there were some times that they had to make some things happen on their own. They were able to do that. I was excited to see that we were able to run the ball effectively and efficiently, and we didn't have anybody with 100 yards, and I'm okay with that. We also threw for 430 yards to 13 receivers and not one over 100 yards. I love that.
Balanced offense.
Balanced offense.
I like that. All right, we'll talk about the second half in a little bit, but going into halftime, commanding lead, I know you said on the press conference yesterday that you told them, hey, let's pitch a shutout. Why do you feel like you told that to your defense?
Well, when I walked in the locker room after we talk about adjustments on the sideline before we go up as coaches, we talk about some of the things that were good and bad and what we need to correct. And I walked into the locker room and I just felt like the locker room was too lax. Music was going, everybody was kind of talking and enjoying it. In my opinion, too much. We had another half of football to play. And at 22 to whatever it was at the time, I don't know, it wasn't a runaway. And I wanted to make sure our guys were focused. And for me at that time, I thought if we focused in on pitching a shutout where we were at the time, I guess it was 22-0.
Yeah.
And we're pitching a shutout. Let's go out there with that focus. Let's have that intent and that mindset. Let's refocus now, because I didn't think we were at halftime. And, again, when you bring up that, it's like a no-hitter. You don't talk about it. I don't know. I'm not superstitious, so I don't really care. I wish we would have gone out there and pitched a shutout, but our defense played phenomenal. 3 takeaways on the night, I think 7 sacks. For them, I would have loved for them to have had a shutout.
Hey, they still played a really good game.
Great,
all right.
great game.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. All right, we're going to send it over to Marshall to tell us our Week 7 Falcon Offensive Player of the Week. Marshall, what do you got?
Okay, Jake, now this one might come as a shocker to you, but after going through my copious notes, rewatching the tape, and thinking about this one all night, I think the most deserving player of Offensive Player of the Week is freshman quarterback Taylor Null. All right, jokes aside, Taylor rewrote the UTPB passing record book. Check out that stat line. 430 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, come on, man. All right, and look how happy he is to be on TV. QB controversy was the story of the offseason, and that story is definitely resolved. Taylor Null is the quarterback of the present and future for the Falcons. Congrats to Taylor, but make sure you stay with us. When we come back, Jake and Coach will break down the Falcons' second half, and I'll tell you who our defensive player of the week is. So don't touch that remote. Falcon Focus. We'll be right back.
Let's go Falcons! Let's go Falcons!
We're back with more Falcon Focus with Jake Dayton and Marshall Kramsky.
Welcome back to Falcon Focus. Thanks for sticking with us. It's now time to break down the second half of this game. Okay, Coach, third quarter you came out, you gave up a field goal, then another score. After that, Humboldt State made it a one-possession game. Are you worried a little bit at all?
I'm upset.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of worry as to, kind of what's going on here. We played so well defensively in the first half. Offensively, I didn't think we played great, but we were putting up some points. And then it got to 22-17, and absolutely, there's a moment there of concern. And I think I go back to halftime, and when I entered that locker room, I don't think we were really focused and ready to go out and play that second half. I think maybe that scare brought it out of us, and it was like time to refocus. We got to do a better job. Our guys got to understand that we got to come out at the beginning of the game. We got to come out at halftime with that same kind of mindset and fire, and don't wait for to get in that situation. You got to have a little bit better mindset.
Sense of urgency, do you think?
Well, 4 quarters for sure. Then that comes with consistency.
Of course.
Have the big celebration when the game's over. Other than that, we celebrate all wins. Fist bump, move on to the next one. When it's all over, we'll celebrate, sing songs, have a good time.
And now after that, though, the defense came right back to light, forced 3 turnovers. How big was that? I know you guys preached that on defense in terms of turning the ball over and creating opportunities for the offense. How well did they do that in the fourth?
They did a great job. I want to say all 2 or 3 of them were in the fourth quarter.
Yes, you're right. You're right on that.
All of them came in the second half, and it was huge. So some big plays. And again, offensively, we got to be able to capitalize on some of those, which we didn't do. One of them we turned right around, gave right back to him with an interception. And we got to do a better job offensively whenever we get those opportunities. But defense was huge for us.
Do you guys think or take the mindset of, when we get a turnover, we've got to go score, got to cash in on that free points?
Well, I think anytime you get the ball, your mindset's got to be,
Sure
you got to go score. Okay. More so on a turnover. One of them was somewhere around the 25 going in. First play, took a shot. And I think that's kind of textbook for most any offense in the country. When you get a turnover and plus territory, you want to go at it and you want to make them pay and try to build that momentum. Didn't work out for us. Speaking
of momentum, okay, conference play starts up next week. What's the hope in terms of repeating this result for next week against Angelo State at home?
Well, yeah, we want to repeat the result every week.
Of course.
The big key, again, I think it just comes down to consistency. And I think for us, a lot of that falls on offense. We got to be able to sustain drives. We got to finish drives in the end zone or with field goals. And then defense continue to play like they've been playing all year. I think our defense has done a phenomenal job, and being able to keep us in some games. Offensively, we got to continue to grow and improve. I think we're doing that, and we got to play more consistently.
Do you think hopefully soon the offense will have that click? That's because you're calling the offense. This is your baby out there every single day in terms of play calling and everything. Do you see the switch hopefully being flicked sometime soon?
Well, I see the flickers in every game.
Okay.
Earlier today, as we were watching film, we're playing 10 freshmen on offense throughout a game.
Of course.
10 freshmen last night played on offense. Now, 3 of those guys probably don't play in every game, but 7 to 10 freshmen playing. Is that click going to happen anytime soon? I don't know. But we're getting the opportunities, and as long as they keep getting those opportunities and game experiences, that moment's going to come and it's going to click and we're going to shine. It's going to be a beautiful thing to watch.
I'm excited for that, Coach. All right, we're going to send back it over to Marshall this time for our Falcon Defensive Player of the Week. Marshall, who do you got?
Defense was a big part of this game as well, and there were a lot of guys deserving of this honor, but here on Falcon Focus, we try to spread the wealth. This week's Defensive Player of the Week is junior safety Xavier Brooks. Big day for the junior. Brooks came up with an interception, broke up a couple passes, and had a tackle for a loss. Very productive stat line for the safety. That's a wrap of our Offensive and Defensive Players of the Week, but don't go anywhere. Later in the show, I'll break down our Play of the Week.
We're back with more Falcon Focus with Jake Dayton and Marshall Kramsky.
Each week, we're putting the spotlight on one member of this Falcon football team. This week, Tatum Gwynn introduces you to defensive back Marquesas Davenport.
Davenport had other offers to play at bigger schools with established programs, but one trip out to Odessa had him sold. He says the people that he is surrounded by here have helped him see that football is much more than just a game. Marquesas Davenport's life is storied on his body.
I'm from California, so I kind of like the Mickey hands.
Ah, that's cool. Each piece of art telling of where he's been.
In California, they call you a California bear, so I got the bear, which is...
One part of his story that you can't see is the one when football almost sidelined him permanently. He suffered a season-ending ACL tear last year.
It was tough. I got in my head a lot. I mean, I even thought about not playing anymore.
That's not what happened. West Texas hospitality and his teammates helped keep him in the game that brought Davenport out to West Texas in the first place.
Me getting hurt, it took me away from the game, so I was only able to just support, just come to practice and watch them do this, but the guys, they showed me a lot of support. Like, everybody was constantly checking up on me, just constantly trying to keep my head up, because they know how tough it can be, so.
Today, Davenport is healed and playing for more than just a win.
I'm just so happy to be able to be out there with my teammates and show them that, you know, that them supporting me wasn't for nothing, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to help out with the guys.
You can call it a comeback, but Davenport, he calls it payback.
So I'm just trying to repay them for everything that this community has showed me, so.
Reporting for CBS 7 Sports, I'm Tatum Gwynn.
I'm loving UTBB, honestly.
Coach, what makes Marquesas so special to your football team?
Well, I think it's just kind of some of the things he talked about, his energy and passion, the want to give back, just the recognition that his teammates were there to pick him up, and him just being the team member, wanting to help, kind of repay them and be back on the field. Positive kid that comes from a lot of negative stuff in Richmond, California. And his life circumstances could take him in a different path, and he chooses not to. You love those stories. He's going to graduate here in December with another year left to play because of that ACL injury. I love everything about where that kid's at in life right now with the circumstances of what he comes from.
That's awesome, Coach. All right, we're going to send it over quickly to Marshall one more time so he can tell us about our play of the week. Marshall, do we have a good one this week?
Thanks, Jake. A lot of great plays in this one, especially on the defensive end. But after Taylor Knoll's day, I think he deserves this one. Come on now. All right. Falcons started off strong. Second drive of the day. Noel connected with Christian Brown for a massive 57-yard touchdown, putting the Falcons up early, and they would not look back. This was a tone setter in this one. Congrats to Taylor, Christian, Xavier, and all the Falcon accolade winners, and for the team as a whole on the big win. That's it for the individual awards, but don't go anywhere. Falcon Focus will be right back.
We're back with more Falcon Focus with Jake Dayton and Marshall Kramsky.
As the Falcon football program continues to grow, so does the coaching staff. So every week, we've been introducing you to a different member of this Falcon coaching staff under Coach Kerrigan. Tatum and Glenn got to know former player and now Coach Jesse Perez in 100 yards.
Okay, today we are getting to know wide receivers coach Jesse Perez. So tell me, where are you from? How did you get to UTPB?
Well, first of all, I'm from Lubbock, Texas. It's about 2 hours north of here. I got to UTPB in, I came to a tryout in fall of 2015 whenever the team and stuff was first getting together. Came to the tryout, tried out a wide receiver. The coaches, I felt like I really made an impression on the coaches because they emailed me back pretty quickly, I think. And then came spring of 2016 and have been here since.
Okay, so you played on the team, yes?
Yeah, I'm a former player.
Okay, so being able to make that transition from player to now coach, how has that been? You kind of have a different perspective.
Yeah, it's really exciting, honestly. I never understood or realized how much work goes into coaching. Just being a player my whole football career, and now being on the other side of it, it's really awesome, and the transition is going pretty smooth, I think, because I've been doing this. I've been helping out with the team for about a year now, coaching wise, and it's really awesome to see how much the players have grown, and and just continue to grow. Yeah. Sure.
So this might be kind of weird. What's one thing that you've learned as a coach that you might not necessarily have learned when you were playing? Is there anything? Just different techniques, especially with route running, just different ways to release, set a defender up, create separation. Really that's about it off the top of my head that I can think of. So how have you found success in showing your players, different routes and, making contact every time? I think it just goes with how coachable the guys are. We can, have a good day at practice and see how well they do and if there's things we need to critique. And later on we'll have meetings and meet up with the guys and see if they, are able to be coachable and to make those adjustments the next day or during the games. And then obviously scoring touchdowns is a big factor into them being able to be coachable and all that. Have you liked seeing the progression of the program? You came in spring 2016 to now. Has it been neat to be along for that ride at the very beginning? Yeah, obviously, yeah. It's been really great. Being a part of UTPB has just been special. I've been a part of new programs. I started my collegiate career at Wayland Baptist. And I was there the second year after they had their inaugural year. And then I'm kind of in the same situation with UTPB, but UTPB is just so much more different and more special. I mean, there's a lot of
lot of things going on here that I think are gonna blow up for not just the school, but I think the city as well.
Absolutely. It's certainly an exciting time to be part of UT Permian Basin. Okay, Coach, last question, most important if you're asking me. If you had a superpower, what would that superpower be?
It's crazy because I always talk to my roommates and stuff about this. I would like the ability to either fly or morph.
Morph? Why would you want to morph?
Because like if we're speaking about like in the superhero spectrum, like if I can morph, I would be able to have the same abilities as you.
Okay, it brings you to the same level as
Yeah, so if anybody has, let's say like brain, like mind control or something, I can morph into you, have the same powers as you. If you can fly, I can have the same powers as you.
I like that. Jedi mind tricks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, no problem.
Coach, having another former player on your staff, how much does that help in terms of just knowing what goes in the locker room and they can kind of tell that to you as well?
It's huge, and Jesse does a good job of kind of keeping us up to speed a little bit, talking about like Cameron Hurd and kind of a similar situation, similar role, just on the offensive side of the ball. So it's always good having that.
All right, Coach, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to turn to this. We'll do the interview again. Yeah, not the whole interview, not all 5 minutes. Just literally, yeah. Coach, having a former player to be now a coach for you, how big is that for your locker room?
It's huge and very similar to the role Cameron Hurd plays, being a former player and now being on staff. Jesse on the offensive side, Cameron on the defensive side, kind of keeps us up to speed with some of the things that are going on, things that maybe we need to be aware of, or kind of just the mood of the team on offense side of the ball. But Jesse's good to have. Love that he stuck around with us.
I love it as well. All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, right here on Falcon Focus.
We're back with more Falcon Focus with Jake Dayton and Marshall Kramsky.
Welcome back to Falcon Focus. All right, before we go, Coach, got to look ahead a little bit. Angelo State, I know you don't know much about them because you haven't looked at film yet, but let's talk about this. Being able to play in Midland, how big is that for you guys?
I think it's huge, and the one thing we always talk about is we're UT Permian Basin as a university.
Of course.
We want to encompass everything surrounding and it encompasses the Permian Basin. Midland being a huge part of that, and we want to make sure that we're present, not just in Odessa, but in Midland as well. Love going over there to play. It's a great atmosphere, great stadium.
Love it, Coach. We're excited to have you over there as well. All right, that's all we're going to have time here on Falcon the Focus. Thanks so much for joining us. Make sure to tune in next week and also catch a fifth quarter with Marshall and I next Friday. So for Marshall, Coach, and I, you guys have a great weekend.